as they coach
Yeah.
to like look at the slides.
Yeah.
Definitely more than welcome to.
I'm just gonna start recording right now. So you can go.
You got the timer? Okay.
Till whenever he's ready.
Oh, it started?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So we are starting again.
So it's 10 minutes conversation, and then 5 minutes of conversational feedback.
10 minutes and five.
Hello again.
Hi.
Hi.
So,
3, 2, 1, go.
hi.
Hi again. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thanks.
So we have had a discussion yesterday. How was your morning today?
So this morning I've actually started to, as you know, I've actually
Yeah.
already started to implement my new routine.
Right.
And I actually went for a run with you.
Right.
Yeah. So that
Did you like it?
I really enjoyed it. I didn't like the waking up in the morning part, but I'm assuming that's gonna be a part of, getting into the routine
Yeah.
and everything. So
Okay. So let me ask you one question. Are you excited for tomorrow?
excited is maybe the wrong word. I'm excited for my next holiday. I'm excited for going out to the bar with my friends next Thursday. I'm excited for these things. For tomorrow, it's I have mixed feelings. I'm looking forward to it. Let's say
Right.
that. Yeah.
Okay. Amazing. So as you know, and as we both know that we did run today in the morning.
Mhm.
But if I ask you a question saying that what specific fitness goal would you like to work on?
Mhm. So I think we've touched on that yesterday, that I want to fix my back pain and that I want to just be fitter in general. Like I want to be able to just have more stamina and be more in there.
Right. I totally agree with you. We have discussed about it. So why is this goal important to you? I know that you have the back pain and
Mhm.
you really want to look good, right? But if you can have few more what do you call it, reasons to why is this important for
Oh,
you?
like more. So I don't know. I think like everybody else at the moment is getting super fit. Like I see everybody doing half marathons. Like I don't want to do a half marathon,
Yeah.
but I want to be sporty. Like I feel super lazy, so it's that intrinsic feeling like everybody else is doing so much and I'm just not. So that's a thing, definitely. Yeah, and I just want to be healthy, long term. So that's super important to me too.
Right. And how would success look like for you, for example, if you're doing fitness
Mhm.
and your reasons are pretty valid, like as in it is super valid that you have all these reasons to do the fitness. How do you see that? How would you achieve this goal, for example?
So I think a goal for me could be to run, let's say like 5 kilometers
Yeah.
in maybe 28 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be cool. So that's what like success would definitely look like for me, to like really set a goal.
Right.
Maybe like together with you, set goals together and then go for those.
Right. Okay. That's really nice. And if I ask you for your schedule now, so I've understood what your goal is. I've understood why your goal is that, right? So let's get into reality and maybe we can check how is your schedule. How is your schedule, like how does your schedule look like
Mhm.
in general? So that
Yeah, at the minute I like wake up in the morning and like now apparently we're going for a run in the mornings at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Then I shower, go to class, and hopefully after a few days I won't be so tired in the afternoon anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Okay.
And then study in the afternoon and FaceTime with family and go to bed. Yeah.
Amazing. So I know one of the challenge which you have previously mentioned is waking up early in the morning.
Super hard.
Right. That's a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
But how do you think we will be able to manage it, or maybe you will be able to manage it and have a discipline, saying that you do fitness or exercise every day in the morning at the same time, or maybe you can change it, right?
Yeah.
But how disciplined are you?
So for me, it's super hard to be doing it alone, I think. So like this morning, if you hadn't been there, like if I hadn't known that you are gonna be waiting for me,
Yeah,
I would have gone back to sleep 100%.
yeah,
So
okay,
I don't know how to find this new, like how to build this new routine up, because I just know like once you leave me alone, I'm gonna go back to bed by myself. So I think I need somebody to build this habit together with me.
right.
Yeah.
So I see that you need an external motivation.
Yes.
What do you think is the percentage of the internal motivation you have, and how much motivation do you expect from the other person? Because
I'd say.
I'll be there with you always, right?
Yeah.
But for you,
I'd
yeah,
say
okay.
it's a straight 50-50.
Okay.
Straight 50-50, 100%. Because if one thing is missing, then I'm not going.
Mhm.
If I'm, if I were to like give up on my goal, I wouldn't be going anymore. If you weren't gonna show up in the mornings, I wouldn't be going anymore either.
Okay.
So yeah.
That's that was too honest.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what options do we have, right? So, what would happen if something happened outside? For example, there's a disaster happening. For example, there's a
I tear my ligament, for example.
for example,
Something like that.
Yes. Would you still do some exercise, or would you still rather choose to, just sit and take rest? What would you do in that
I
situation?
think that is a critical point, right?
Right.
I would be in like in the past, I may not have torn my ligament, but like other things may have happened. So I was in a good routine,
Right.
and then all these deadlines came up, and then I neglected working out to be in my to work on my deadline. Sorry. So I think it's a bit important to do a disaster control, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Like, how do you keep up the routine when other things
Right.
happen?
Okay. But that's really nice that you still look forward to do fitness whenever and whatever happens, right?
I'm motivated to do
You're
it, not in
motivated
a
to do it.
routine. The minute it's this motivation,
Right.
Yeah. Need to
Okay.
build a routine.
And that's important, and that's really important to have one. So why would you come? And I know back pain, right? Yes, but it can be solved with many other options too. Why would you choose to do one with the exercise or fitness?
I think the fitness will not only fix my back pain, but also help me achieve all the other goals I have. So it's a all-in-one package deal.
Okay. Do you see anyone, a friend of yours or someone who you know is had the same problem, and they went into doing fitness. They chose to do fitness and exercises, and now that you
I
have
know
motivation.
people who got fitter,
Mhm.
but I didn't know. I don't know anyone specifically who has like back pain
Right.
and is like working against their back pain. Yeah, I'm too young to have back pain.
That's fine. That's fine with the current lifestyle that we have, right? Okay, so that's amazing to talk. That's amazing. That was an amazing conversation we had, and okay.
Yeah.
I think that was a great conversation. I think we can move into the conversational feedback.
Yeah.
I really like that you guys were really comfortable to have this discussion again, especially because our learnings from yesterday were about motivation, not about the facts about how to be coach. So knowing that you guys stick to it and happened before we're having this model coaching process shows your willingness and commitment about an actual situation that you were facing, not just a vague situation for the class, you know? I really like how you went over the goals and how were you able to achieve this sense of, okay, now that we started, how can we improve it? And you also dive into a reality check because you were being very honest about the fact that if you wouldn't have committed. Like you don't want him leave hanging out like 6 in the morning, just like cool peace. You know, like you're showing show that you're a people person in the sense of commitment and respect and like honesty with each other, like this team honesty. I think it would have been great to look more of like the options of, okay, you're seeing in her that she's committed because you're committed, you know?
Yeah.
How can you pass the ball into her? She can be committed because she wants to be committed, not just because you're there. Especially because what if she goes back to London? You're not in London, so how can she cop these habits? I know that
You're gonna move.
You're gonna leave London.
Okay.
So we're moving.
Let's find a
We're
job
moving to
in
London.
We're all moving to London.
You know, so it's very nice and it's very friendly and it's great. But these options about like maybe you can take a 20-minute walk on your own, or like how while we start together and then halfway through I'm gonna let you be on your own to see how you feel, because a lot of people like to reflect when they run. So seeing those options and work your questions along what options work best for her were really great. Diving into the what's alone, what it's what's alone, what it's in the worst case scenario, also give her a sense of reality check of in case I get harmed, in case something happens, how can I be proactive and maintain my goals. So it's a way of will that I saw it more than an option, so that was really great. What do you guys thought with each other?
I think it was super cool that we actually went for the run in the morning, because this way we could like really build on it. And we had this like starting base. We're like, okay, yesterday we talked about this. In the meantime, we have done this, and now we're looking clearly at what's the goal, what's the reality look like, what options do we have, like how's this gonna continue. So I thought that was super interesting to go into.
Right. And as you mentioned that the morning was really nice because we started doing something, right? Which we were not doing before.
Yeah.
I really felt nice when when we had a conversation in the morning and I woke up, like I'm awake. And I really felt that you are motivated. You are motivated.
I texted him this
Yes.
morning. He sends me a sun emoji, and I just send him like, I'm awake, I'm coming.
Yes.
I don't know what to wear. I'm cold. I was complaining. The entire time. I was like, I'm cold.
Yeah.
Can we wrap? I'm cold.
That's really nice because if someone else would have been there, so it might be a conversation of yesterday, but that person wouldn't have showed up in the morning.
Yeah.
But you did. There is a motivation. There is a 100% chance that you would do it alone too. You wouldn't need an external motivation going forward for sure. And I would also really like to appreciate how punctual you are, which I've already mentioned before. But about this conversation right now, I would recommend that take it as if it's for you. It's actually for you, right?
Yeah.
But take it on yourself, like as in, I need to do it. I would do that. I would also do this. Do not just consider about fitness and exercises. You can also go with other options too. But do it in such a way that I will do something which is related to exercise or fitness in general. So I was able to see that motivation coming from you. I was able to feel the answers, like as in I was able to connect with you in that sense. So I really feel that that's amazing.
Great.
Yeah.
That's
Thank
a lot of
you.
feeling.
Great.
Cool.
Amazing.
Fantastic.
First one.
Okay, so
Yes.
hit cut. And then this one needs edited in the beginning. Okay. So,
Hi, Sophia.
wait. Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Yes.
Hello, how are
Hi,
you?
I'm good. I'm
Good.
really excited to have another conversation with you today.
Great. So yesterday we started with dancing,
Yeah.
hip hop and jazz. We just had a conversation about running. We didn't try dancing whatsoever. So this conversation we're gonna take a chance about exploring a little bit more about the road to achieve your goal. So what can you tell me in the sense of what will success look like to you if you were dancing?
Okay, so a success would look like as in a success for me would be people who really dance would appreciate that it was great. that's the basic. That's the only success which I'm looking for, because I don't see that I want to be a professional dancer. I see as if there's an event which is happening, right? I should be able to show people that I really know what's dancing, and I really want to enjoy and feel that. That's success to me.
That's great. What do you see yourself doing in like 6 months from now regarding dancing?
Maybe 6 months from now, high expectations is I should be able to choreograph, right? Like as in for myself, like as in if I listen to music, like okay, let's do this. Okay, I can do this too. So that's my 6 months goal.
How's so coordinating? What do you envision when you tell us about that?
Can you maybe rephrase? the
Yeah, of
question?
course.
Yeah.
So what I meant is like you just mentioned that you wish that a successful approach in 6 months or so
Yeah.
are about achieving autonomy and being able to keep
Yeah.
the rhythm and choreography in your mind. Have you envisioned yourself doing anything to help that goal happen?
Yeah, to help that goal happen, I would be very much disciplined into, like, not discipline would not be a right word because it is more formal, but I would enjoy learning dancing and learning dance, and I would really inculcate that habit of whenever I'm just sitting or maybe doing something, I should be able to just move my body here and there, and that's how I would learn, and I would keep that in mind wherever I go and whatever the situation is. Maybe I think that this would assist me in having that success in 6 months.
That's great. I like that you just dive into how to be successful, because I think you just answered that question within yourself. So it's great that you're aware of that. What have you done in the past that it's close to what you want to achieve with dancing that's been successful?
I was never consistent. Like as in, I might have danced, like I have done it before, but it's been 2 years now. I danced, and there was no consistency. Because of that, I don't think there's any flow into that. So
Well, you just mentioned 2 years. What happened in these 2 years that you allow you to stop?
okay, so for example, I would say that I don't think there wasn't any opportunity where I would showcase my dancing skills, or maybe I would dance there. That's why maybe I would always want someone or something happening so that I dance, right? Yeah, that's it. So there was no events happening in last 2 years, so I couldn't dance.
Great. What have you tried in the last 2 years to do to improve that, besides the factors that haven't allowed you to achieve it?
I really don't know what has helped that. Like as in, I don't think I have kept a good track on it. So the answer would be I haven't done anything in the last 2 years to keep that on track.
Got it. Have you heard anyone who's interested in dancing like you or stuff?
Yeah, I see many of my friends who would like to dance, but I don't think they have the same level of motivation which I have. I would definitely want to bring some of them with me so that I also have that motivation consistent with me. But yeah, I don't have any friends. Yeah.
I got it. Okay. So sorry. What
You have friends.
You
I have friends. I don't have any friends. I don't have any friends with the same
Okay.
motivation in dancing.
So
Yes.
sorry.
Sorry
What
about that.
feedback? What feedback have you gotten in the past that has allowed you to realize that you need to improve dancing?
Like self feedback, I would say, when I see my own dance videos, I would go from it was nice on the stage to like everyone saw it. So that would be
self-awareness.
yes, self-awareness.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Ooh, okay.
Let's say the tables have turned, and you are dancing actively, and suddenly you need to stop.
So sorry. Okay, let's go, let's go, let's go.
Okay.
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 Right, okay.
Okay. Take two.
Okay,
Okay, so
Okay.
we had some technical difficulties, so
sorry.
let's keep
So-
up finish up a minute or so of the conversation. So, if I were to tell you, when will you start pursuing this? When will you start?
By tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Sounds good. What other support or actions will be needed for this to make happen? For you to tomorrow happen?
Sorry, I didn't get you.
What other support or actions will you need to make this happen tomorrow?
I don't think I would need anything, but I would just need your coaching so that I can start with that, because I think I'm self-motivated for now, at least, to be very honest, and maybe I see that it would continue for a long time until and unless I meet that goal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. What might get in the way of you dancing?
Oh my god, in the way.
So,
We're terrible. Oh, we're gonna edit this. We're gonna edit this clip. There's gonna be a few cuts.
Sorry, Professor.
Okay.
What might get in the way of you achieving this dance?
Sorry, this is so funny.
What will you happen for you to discover your face? What would it, okay. What might get in the way for you to?
the only thing which I see that would come as a hindrance would be the time management, for example. Because my schedule is free.
Got it. What will it, what will you?
It wasn't me. It wasn't me.
Right now, it's so
What's
difficult
wrong?
to make an eye contact.
It wasn't me this time. It wasn't
I
me.
see her and she's like,
I'm not gonna look at you.
Okay.
Oh my god. You guys are gonna have to edit this.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
but I really see.
I'm gonna look at you guys. I'm gonna laugh.
So you were talking about time management.
Yeah.
What's wrong with us? Okay.
Okay.
Okay. This is the funniest video in the universe.
Okay, what will you do if it? Should we just go into the feedback? Okay.
No, you guys finish up. You guys finish up. One last question.
Yeah, like I think that to keep in mind for the future, so we can move into the feedback. It's probably able to. Okay.
So,
Okay. So one question before we move to the feedback is.
it's happening again in my
We're
mind.
actually taking this seriously. Okay.
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 God, it's my video, so I can it.
Okay.
Okay. So, one last question before we finish is stop. Okay, everyone look at the phone.
Okay. One last question. Okay.
One last question.
What for you to have a question before we start the questionnaire of the feedback is what we. I just get the pre-laugh. I try to hold it in. The pre-laugh and
I
Oh my God.
won't look at you.
You need to stand up and go to the copier and come back.
Okay.
Okay.
And just a last question for you to keep in mind before we move to the feedback is remember that what we'll be able for you to say during the next meeting we do this for you to be able to keep up with your goal. That's just a question that you can keep on in mind. So I'm going to move into the feedback.
Okay. So there are a few things that I've noted. So I think you have started off the meeting really well by stating what happened yesterday. What did you guys do yesterday? What's the status quo right now? What's going on? Has anything changed, especially? Then you have started it off by, you've really stuck to the GROW model. You started it off by talking about the success. So what does success look like? He said he wants other dancers to confirm that he's in fact really able to dance, right? You've asked about the time frame. So you've tried to start establishing a realistic goal, and you've come up with the 6 months. You've then asked like what's going to be happening within the next 6 months, and you've also had a clear answer for that, so you knew more or less what you wanted. Then there was this really smooth transition from goal to reality, where you were talking about envisioning yourself, building habits, what has happened in the past. And what I found, really interesting here is that you guys didn't just move forward from question to question. You guys really had this ping pong conversation where you stated an argument and he stated an argument, and you really had a proper conversation where you actively listened. You were really, really honest when you said there was a lack of opportunity, and you said that you hadn't done anything in the past. And I guess you can really tell that there is, what I've also seen, really good chemistry between the coach and the coachee. So there's a lot of they really like each other, so you can tell that they like working together, and it's not taken so super seriously, which is a really, really strong quality to have. Like you cannot just burst out laughing with anyone over the little things. So that's a really strong suit that you both really, really have, you know. I love that you talked about starting by tomorrow, self-motivation and time management. And I love that you've ended up with an open question, an open phrase question, so that he really has a takeaway, that he has something to think about when he leaves the room, and that's really, really great. Yeah, how did you feel during the coaching?
I really felt nice. We were talking about the real timeline, and the questions were so real that I was able to.
Sorry, I'm still laughing. It was just such. I'm still laughing. It's
Yeah,
so
so I was totally into when do we start. That was the only question in my mind.
Okay.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So
As you can see, there is really great chemistry between
Yeah.
the two.
it was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's move it. Okay, so I think we're done with music. Sorry about that. This is a very interesting. I think the reason we're laughing is because we feel so comfortable now,
Yeah.
and these coaching sessions feel like natural. Like we only have a timer and the questions, but there's no script, so
Mhm.
it feels very natural. So
Yeah.
a lot of raw footage.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
But come on.
Got it.
Okay. So we have to be in the class in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let-
I came. Okay. It's recording.
He's got to live. Okay. Have we got the timer running?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I'm not gonna do anything but start the time. Okay. So 3, 2, 1.
Hallo.
Hello.
Wie geht es dir?
Good morning to you. I don't know.
How have you been
I've
since
been
our
good.
yesterday's coaching?
It's been good.
Yeah. So today, in today's session, I want to be making this a bit more concrete, and I really wanna find out where we're gonna be going here today. So I have a lot of questions to ask for you today. Is that all right?
Yeah.
So we're still talking about learning the German language and about tackling the anxiety that comes with it, and also public speaking in a sense is kind of connected to that. Is that correct?
Yes.
So what is the situation going to be ideally in the next couple of weeks, days, months? Like, what is success going to look like for you when learning German?
Yeah, so right now I'm aware that my schedule is kind of tight, but I say this, and when I say it, I mean it, but I also know that there's a percentage of not true. Like, it's not a lie,
Mhm.
but it's like there's certain banter that I can take with time, especially because I have a very tight schedule in the sense of summer's here, but I have some adult decisions to make regarding my after steps within the program,
Mhm.
classes, and work with the university. So I know that I have a tight schedule, but there's some times that my free time goes to, oh, I've been doing so much during the day that I just want to lay down, you know?
Mhm.
So I ended up scrolling for Instagram for like an hour and a half instead of like the 40 minutes that I had planned or so and stuff like that. So maybe those 40 minutes could have been to learning a new language,
Yeah.
but again, I don't know where to start.
So the success. So I see that you're really busy right now, and you're prioritizing different things, and you see some flexibility in like prioritizing things properly. But the main focus at the minute is your future career, right? So we're trying to squeeze in the learning German in there somewhere, right? So what would the success for you look like? Would that be a schedule where this is perfectly integrated? Is this what we're looking for?
Yeah.
A schedule?
I think that really stuck to me yesterday was the fact that conversational will help. So I did look around a couple options and they're like kind of far, but I think I could make it. So I was starting to think of like, okay, the traveling time and everything, and I was like, okay, I need to pause because I'm going over the head. Sorry. So I did really like the part where you said like it's about people and connecting, and that also attached what success looks to me because I see myself being able to have conversation with a German speaking language to be able to communicate in the future, especially because right now on the state we don't there's not many German speakers, so for me the practicing aspect will be kind of hard.
So what I see here is like to just give you some guidance. So our two goals are to have a schedule which helps you learn German consistently and also connect you with people in a way so that you have the opportunity to learn it. So when it comes to learning languages, what have you done in the past that helped you become fluent in those languages? For example, I know you speak French. What has especially helped you, and how did you squeeze that into your schedule back then? And also, what has motivated you to get there?
Yeah, so I learned the few languages that I speak very fluent. Since I was very little. So I think age affected me a lot because at a time where I was like inculcating Spanish since I was a baby, English, same thing. And then French came into the aspect, you mentioned French specifically, came because I was very little and I needed to learn it because it was part of school. So I was like, okay, enforce it. And then that forcing of, okay, 10 to 12 once a week, turning to 10 to 12 to being once a week plus the club after class, so that's two extra days where I will have in total 3 days per week practicing a language with a professor, and we'll have activities that will help. So I think that's a few things that facilitated me to learn French in a more steady and fast pace, and language that was kind of like on my own pace. There was the Portuguese with my cousin. Again, I was involved with someone that I was, okay, we are going, so I need to go. And then as an adult, I did have to juggle a little bit with getting my high school diploma and stuff while I was also going to this external class. So it was just about scheduling. I think that's my main priority. Once I fit in the schedule, I think it will be able to happen.
So what has worked in the past was the age and the regular scheduling and also pressure that you had to learn it to get somewhere. This is not the case now. So we must establish a way for you to build up the pressure to get it, right?
A few pressure that will be willing to reflecting what you're saying, like summarizing. It's maybe I do know that we're like a group of 3 friends and we're really close, and 2 of us that are here in the States, we've been thinking about visiting my friend back in Germany. That she lives there, so I don't know if maybe that's something that I can pressure me, but because that's trip is just like on the chats, you know, when you do like, oh, we should do this, we should go there, but
That's
it's
a
not.
great first goal to have there. If you go to Germany and your goal is to be ordering one, I'm so sorry, to be ordering food there by yourself in German and be paying for it in German. So that would be an option that you definitely would have. What would happen if you didn't do it would be that you. What would happen if you didn't do that? That'd be that you failed, right? So if you took no action and you'd be going to Germany, so that could, and you wouldn't be able to order, that would mean that you failed. So that could probably put you in this pressure position. And how many more weeks until you have to go through that?
Again, the
The
chats,
trip isn't planned.
No, the thing is, I would love
Okay.
to start prepping, but I know the time. It's gonna take a lot, so that's the problem. Like I don't know where to start.
Okay. So here's what I've seen work is when you really try, set yourself the goal, book that trip. That's my recommendation. Book that trip. Just do it in that spirit. Just do it, and then get into it.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. Yeah. So how are we gonna moving on now? So what's next? Are you really going to go into that trip planning, or what's your next step? Are you gonna be starting lessons? What were you thinking?
I was looking at my options, and I was thinking maybe those online courses, but also I see an academy here in Boston that has a German option and curriculum that you can get a certificate.
Right.
So maybe we can get maybe I can get a certificate that says like I'm proficient in German. So that will mean like the working and going to the academy will
Yeah.
be the pressure of like, oh, I'm starting, I'm paying for this, and making it possible. So maybe that will help.
What could go wrong? Have you asked yourself what could go wrong?
If I pay for a subscription or an academy that gives me the title, the worst scenario would be that my schedule would make me go behind, and therefore it would be a waste of money. You know.
So is that risk really high or low?
I mean, I don't like wasting money, so I would say the risk is high.
Mm-hmm.
But I will be caring more about, like, I had a commitment with myself, and I know that I would be very, very disappointed with myself.
So what else can you do to make it happen? So you're gonna like pay money. What else is there? Is there anyone you can talk to?
I don't know if anyone wants to learn German. Like, I haven't looked around and be like, oh, do you want to
To like
learn
take a
German?
PIA or
Yeah. I think maybe the first step will be going there and seeing the place and feeling comfortable. I think maybe I could once I'm there and I know that I have looked at the options online, I can make the payment right on the spot. So I leave the place committed and right ready to start.
yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
Cool. So next time we're gonna be talking about what has happened until then. So thank you so much for coming to see me.
Great, thank you. So,
Cool.
right, so let's start with a 5.
Let's go for it.
Yeah. So it was an amazing conversation to hear.
Yes.
I'm gonna go hide. You talk. You talk. You give the feedback.
And I would end it as like I would definitely give some recommendations, but the way you started, you started by saying something.
I don't think we can get it together today.
Okay.
Okay, you started by saying.
Something which is German.
Yes.
Right? And then she showed you that she doesn't have knowledge about it, and then you responded.
Yeah.
So you gave a push, and you also said that. Then do it. Sorry. fine. We need to make it fine, right?
Guys, let's go.
Okay. 59.
Okay,
5.
I'll sit here. I'll be fine.
Okay, amazing. Yes, thank you. I need that motivation.
Go.
Yes. So, the way you started,
What's the problem?
Okay.
Like, seriously, what's the issue?
I think I can
Let's go.
Okay.
Go for it. Just do it, okay? Okay. Think about the suicide hotline.
Yeah.
Are you recording?
I'll be editing that.
No, but are you actually
Oh.
recording?
Yes.
Okay.
Right. The way you started with the German.
Come again, okay.
The way you started with the German good morning, and that shows that you are in it already. Like you want to teach someone who doesn't know German, right? And that shows that you're highly motivated. We are not doing it, bro. Okay, we are doing it because
Okay.
it has to be done.
Let's go for it.
Go. Okay. So we had some technical difficulties again, so we're
Yeah.
just gonna
So
continue the feedback.
you started it really well. We started with German, and she replied in English because she doesn't know German right now. But she would eventually learn that, right? That's why she is here. But you, as a coach, showed that this is how German language is. This is how you would hear that, right?
Yes.
I'm doing
Yes.
that.
Yes.
And you also gave a disclaimer saying that it would be really there would be a time where you would feel that it is tough and you will feel overwhelmed. Oh, I cannot do it, because age is also a factor which you guys discussed, right? But you also backed that question and answer saying that it would happen. Eventually, it would happen. Make sure we are very much disciplined and we are concentrated
Yeah.
in learning German. You started it really well. You answered really well. Both of you covered all the 4 points which we were supposed to, which is goal, reality, options, and will. You started by learning what goal is. You asked her a question, what success looks like, right? And you gave an amazing answer to that. When you asked a question, you didn't stop until and unless you get the correct answer to that question. That shows that you are very much listening to what she's saying, right? You also mentioned that how to integrate German language in a career life. That shows that you can actually integrate into your career life, and the way you guys are motivated in doing that. Coming back to reality, before I come to the reality, you summarized when your questions were answered. You summarized the way she answered the questions, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I try to always
Yes, you all
restate what she said.
right. So if there's any chance so that she can recorrect you when you're summarizing, that gives an opportunity to the speaker that no, you're wrong here, and this can be an actual case. Right? Sophia started talking about the options which she has with certifications. How can she implement that, and how highly motivated she is. Coming back to ending it right here by saying that it was amazing conversation. All the recommendations are already out.
Yeah.
Yeah, would you like to say something to her?
No, I think I see a lot of will. Like there's some like, okay, I could actually do it now, and that's pretty cool for me to see as a coach.
Yeah, I really like how you.
You guys.
I really like how you were very friendly since the beginning, and you were allowing me to figure out a way for you to allow me to be honest within myself and look, instead of you providing questions for me to look at the options, you were providing questions for me to reflect that allowed me to bring on my own options. Like, actually, never mind. I think I can do this. I can do that. I can do this. So I getting the answers for myself, and then you reiterating what I just said with a question to push it forward. That was a very smooth strategy moving forward, and I really appreciated that.
Cool.
Cool.
Thank you so much. Observer is super difficult.
Someone was asking and someone was
So
answering.
I'm gonna give the coachee the timer again. Or maybe I'll just have it here.
Whatever feels good to you.
Okay, are we rolling?
It's rolling. We just need to say like land stuff.
Okay.
Coach.
Okay, let's get started.
You say
Everyone ready?
show.
Sure.
Show.
Sure.
Okay.
So,
Sure.
yeah, let's get started.
Okay. Hi, Shell.
Hi,
Welcome.
Sophia.
How you been?
It's been nice.
Great. So we're here because I heard you want to learn how to dance and
Yeah.
how to improve your dance. So, what motivated you to choose this new approach to learning how to dance?
Right, that's really interesting question. So how I would like to answer this question is when I see an event, right? When there's an event happening and I see people dance, I really feel like this is the only thing which I don't do. And I would really like to learn how to dance because I want to showcase my skills over there too because I'm really good in different stuff. But dancing is somewhere I feel, that's not my thing. So that's why I wanted to coach myself from you and for dancing especially, yes.
That's good. No,
Yeah.
that's great. Have you heard any type of dancing that you prefer? Have you experienced any professional classes before?
To be honest, I really don't know what are the dance classifications as you mentioned, but I want to do jazz. I don't know if that's the correct word. Hip hop, if I'm not wrong. But my body is not that flexible. I haven't done that, like as in it was always in my dreams, but not in real. But I would really like to learn hip hop if it's possible for my body to do
Great.
that. Yes.
What will you say it's one thing that you fear when you are about to dance?
I might lose the track of how to dance. Maybe there are steps to follow, right?
Mhm.
I might do 4 steps, but I'm not. I feel like I might forget the 5th or 6th or 7th step, and then I would just forget everything which is after that. That's the fear which I have in my mind. Yeah, and I've also experienced that. In India we have big fat wedding, right? And we dance. I used to dance there, but then that happened with me, and I was just doing. Just showing people that I forgot the dance. So that's the fear which I have.
Got it. You've been here in Boston a while.
Yeah.
Will you say that Boston has an opportunity for you to dance, or do you find it hard for you to find a place to dance or stuff?
No, I really feel that Boston is a place where we can just be ourselves, like as in just showcase yourself, however it is, whatever it is. No one is seeing you, no one is judging you. So you just be yourself, and I really want to perform, like as in learn dance here because whatever I do, it's gonna be a dance movement, like as in dancing. Yeah. So it's a nice
Great.
place to start with.
Great. I think it's very brave of you for you to take that first step of acknowledging
Thank
what you need to do and how can I get help and how can I get motivated. I think, and also a exercise for you to
Right.
do within yourself. It's instead of being scared of I might lose it, pun intended, like look one step at a time. Like
Yeah.
I'm here and right now, and you made it to the dance floor. You find a partner that you feel comfortable with, or
Yeah.
dance on your own. Like who knows? But
Yes.
the point is, you're making those progress little steps and coming to ask for help.
Right.
It's not because you can't, it's because you want to improve. So bravo, kudos to you. My recommendation in coaching will be, I do have experience in jazz, but not as much. So maybe we can learn by practicing. So the reason I asked Boston is because sometimes Boston offers ClassPass, for example, that you can
Okay.
look for jazz classes from professionals. There's also gyms. We were having a conversation earlier about like exercise. Maybe another type of exercise that you might want to look into is exercise by dancing, and that's a new integration to your routines. Do you have any questions regarding how can you get started, or is there any habits that you think are preventing you from achieving to learn how to improve the dance?
No, I have no specific questions, but I do have one question always in my mind, and I think this is the right opportunity to ask that question. How much time does it take for a learner to learn dance?
That's a tricky question.
Okay.
So it depends on how much time you dedicate to it,
Yeah.
how much time you stick to it, because it takes a habit to stick. Sometimes, because for example, for me, when I was learning, it takes around 21 days for you to learn a habit, like 21 consecutive days for you to stick with it and becomes a routine instead of just trying to get a habit on. So I will start with maybe practicing on your breaks or finding a space at night, like 1, 2, 3 steps, 1, 2, 3 steps. Once you dominate those steps and you feel comfortable, you can try to spontaneously on your own, maybe try 2 hands.
Okay.
And you do so on your own. So you can start losing that fear of like, I might lose track of how to dance because I might forget. But if you
Yeah.
practice, it becomes an instinct to you. It becomes natural to your body.
True.
Then the other part is the social aspect. How to ask someone, would you like to dance? Would you like to improve your dancing? Like by joining me.
Mhm.
So the way you can improve that, it's maybe joining like a community dance or finding a studio with jazz. That maybe the trainer there can be like, oh, let's put you two together. So you
Okay.
move to that aspect. And then
Wherever you are, come on back. Okay? Come on back now. We'll give him a chance to do it later.
Okay.
taught.
Carl.
Cut.
Amazing.
Okay, remember?
Okay,
1
so-
minute left.
No.
Okay.
I think you realize that we have less than 30.
Let me just get back into it. So we were doing dancing. Okay. Okay, so now let us jump right into the. Oh, sorry. Okay, so after our little interruption, let us now dive right into the feedback. So I was very impressed with your coaching skills. I thought it was really, really well done. You have asked a lot of questions to really get to know him. You really tried to understand what the issue is and where it is coming from. You've also, I really liked how you opened the conversation. You said, hello, I understand this is your problem, and then you asked exactly what exactly the issue is, like where is it coming from, and what he's feeling. And he's actually, and I really appreciate that, he's actually opening up and he says, I have this fear of going to the dance floor. So I think you guys had really good communication. You've really established a scenery of trust, which was amazing. You have also, you've known your problem well. You've really been able to say what you want out of the coaching, which is always super, super important. You've also spoken about habits. Here, you've phrased the question very direct, which for some people can definitely work. You can say like, oh, what is your habit that makes you hold back from like going to the dance floor? However, I would like to just point out that for others, in this case it worked well, but for others it might not always work. So maybe it's good to take a more indirect approach and not say, I want to talk about habits, because then they're gonna question like, what do you mean habits, you know? I also love that you really tried to come up with this step-by-step plan at the end. That was good. Maybe in the end, and that was because of the timing, maybe in the end I would have loved to see you come up with a game plan. Like, you've given him a lot of tools, and you did come up with like, you could start doing this, you can start doing this, but maybe a proper game plan. And I think if you had like continued to talk, you would have got there 100%. Yeah, we have a few more seconds if you guys want to share. You wanna go first?
No, I really like the way you asked the questions, and I would also appreciate that the questions were really direct, like as in it directly hit my mind saying that yes, you know. So for example, you started with the question, what is your fear? What do you want to do? What dance classification would you like to enroll yourself into, right? So that really helped me thinking about, like, I never thought about doing hip hop, but that instinct came to my mind that, you know, I might do hip hop if I ever choose to learn dance, right? So the questions were really nice, and the fear is, what do you want to do and how would you do it? Let's do it together. So you had an approach that, no problem, though you have this fear, but we'll work on it so that you will be able to learn more. And the question which I asked towards the end, saying that how much time does it take for a learner to learn, you answered that question really well, because I was expecting you say that it would take some time, it would take a bit more time, but you said that if you do it for 21 days, that would really inculcate a habit for you, and then you would really like dancing a lot. So that's how we learn, and that's how I would learn. So that's really nice approach of answering that question.
Thank you. I really liked the fact that you were very calm and very open. The eye contact was really straightforward, and I appreciate that. I think the way you were trying to figure it out, the answers to my questions in a very straightforward way as well, helped the conversation have a flow. I really like that it was question answer, because I tend to talk a lot, and I think that's kind of like aware. But getting to hear your approach and your answers really made me rethink my next question, not to have a script, but to understand what's needed for you.
Right.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Perfect. Final one.
Okay.
Final one was what? I don't remember.
Okay. So it was
German. Learning
I was
German.
you're the observer.
but what was the activity?
I was gonna be the coachee. She was
Yeah.
gonna be the.
It's great.
Okay.
It's great. Okay.
Should we have a timer?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh, where's my phone?
It's okay. You can use mine. Here you go. Okay.
Amazing.
Well, hi Sophia. How are you
Hello.
today?
I'm good, thank you.
Okay. What brings you to me? How can I help you?
So we met a few times in the past weeks or so, and since you arrived in Boston, one of the first things that came to my mind when you presented yourself, it was that you are from Germany and you come from the London campus, and it was really great. And it triggered a memory because one of my extra mates, which is also my friend, she's German, and we used to share adjoining rooms, like just a wall separating us, when we used to live in Charleston. And she loved to have her door open, so I will hear her conversations with her mom in German, and I would be like, you know, and like, Guten Tag, that's the only word that stuck with me, and another. And like another word, it's like when they like very, I don't know if that's a thing of hers, whatever, but it made me realize, like, for native Spanish native speaker, that language for me it's always been too complex. I speak several languages, so I've always put off the fact of Germany and German speaking. So you triggered that memory, and I was like, you know what? Let me ask her if you read.
Okay, so I understand that you have good memories with fellow Germans, which urges you to really try and understand this language and also to broaden your horizon. But I also see that there is some sort of fear or nervousness to be entering this new German language world because the language may be a bit too complex. What other languages do you speak?
So I am a native Spanish speaker. I grew up with English since I was a baby. Then I also speak French, not German. I love to speak German. I speak French, Italian, Portuguese, and a little bit of conversational Mandarin.
In that case, I can really calm you down because German is really not that far off now. I think you have all the tools in your brain that you would need. There's a scaffolding in your head. That's why I always say there's a scaffolding in your head right now because you've already learned so many languages that it's going to be so much easier to build on a new language from there. So when you've learned to speak any other language, like how long would it normally take you to learn, or how good is your skill level in, for example, French specifically?
So, for example, with French, it started as my school was a technical school, but also like a cultural school. So, one of our electives during the whole year was languages.
Mhm.
And because Spanish and English were a must, like it's an additional third language, I chose French. So it was like professor teaching us every single day to speak and everything. Portuguese was also taught by professors because I will go with my cousin to Portuguese
Mhm.
lessons. Italian and Mandarin were self-taught in the sense of
Oh,
taking
wow,
online
that's a
classes
lot.
and stuff. Mandarin not so much because I don't get to practice it, but the Italian, yes. So it was those two languages I can say those were self-taught.
That's a lot.
With
So in that case, I can assure you that I can take away your fear. I can really assure you, if you were to start learning German, then you would succeed at it, and it would take you some time to learn it, but there's no reason to be scared of it. I think though, what I will say, to be realistic, it is a difficult language. We conjugate our verbs in many different ways, even more ways than you would see in a Spanish language, for example, or in a French language. There's so many things to learn, so you have to really stick to it. Would you be able to learn German every day or every other day? Would you have the capacity to do it? And if yes, how do you imagine, what's like your best way to learn it? Would you need a professional tutor? Would you want to do it with an app? Would you like to go to a class? How do you imagine your learning experience?
Yeah, I'm a very visual learner. I think when I see things and hearing additional to it,
Mhm.
like for example with names, like if you tell me a name of a person, if I don't engage with that person as much, I wouldn't be able to recall that person's face or anything about them. But when I see the face and then the name, for example, for me, I'm like, okay, that's stuck. Like I see you 20 years, I'm like, oh my god, Anika from Home
Yes,
you know?
yes.
So I'm a very visual learner. And one of my fears as well is the pronunciation. Like my rational fear is trying to say a word and then I say the opposite word and you might insult someone, you know? Like I don't want to be thrown off by insulting someone. But
Yeah. Okay, so what I can sense is that potentially immersing yourself in a German environment, as in traveling to Germany, might be a bit too much to start with for you now, because that would just trigger the fear, and then things would go overboard. But I also can sense that an app might not be it for you, because the gamification, yes, it does visualize things, but I can sense that you would probably need this personal connection with somebody. Like I think there's like your emotional intelligence probably supports your learning. So what I would suggest for you to do is to find a group in which you can learn, or find a professional tutor. There are programs where you can start talking to native people online, which are relatively cheap, and they tutor you, so that would be a first starting point. They're online, but I bet in Boston there's going to be a German language school somewhere where you can apply for courses. So essentially that's what I would recommend for you specifically. And most importantly, really stick to it and really learn it every single day if you can, because it is a hard language, and if you do not put in the effort, then you will not get a lot out of it. So that's super important to keep in mind when learning German.
which will say it's one phrase that I can practice right now.
One phrase that you can practice is, for example, a good one is, for example, wo ist die Bushaltestelle? Where's the bus stop? Wo ist die Bushaltestelle?
Okay.
And then people could tell you. Yeah, cool. So this way you would like find your way around. I think these are like the ways to start.
Great. Thank you
Cool.
so much. Observer?
Yes, so it was really good talking about like learning German, like as in being observer too. But I would really like to comment on the honesty that you both had, being a German person coming from Germany, and Sophia who doesn't speak German language, sorry. And I felt the excitement coming, I felt the excitement when you guys were discussing. The way you started the conversation saying that, how can I help you? Like it makes person comfortable. You can just open up. oh, this is the problem. So the question was really amazing. The answer you gave was really amazing. You also asked one more question, which was what languages do you speak? That's really nice to know as a coach. What is the potential of being like as in teaching a coaching, so that you can learn. And then you mentioned French, Italian, Mandarin, and Portuguese. That's really nice. And then you also commented on the same thing, saying that because you know other languages, so it would be much easier for you to learn German. That's really nice. I would say that. So the recommendation which I would like to give here is, she started with her experience, right? Maybe you could have started with an experience too.
Okay.
Right? That's really nice. That when now she was honest, you were being honest, and now it's more comfortable, right? And again, so there's another recommendation which I would like to say is, everything was super nice. Maybe you could have come up with a plan. We'll start with this, then we'll do this, then we'll do this. But the question which I liked the most was, how do you want to learn? Will that be a virtual, or will that be more of a in-person? And then the way you answered, and then the way you gave the solution that we would have both, that's really amazing. That now you're knowing who is learning and how can I help her learn. That's really nice. So that's what I would recommend. Amazing.
Cool. Thank you.
Right. Any last minute thoughts and comments? What do you think?
I'm not looking at that side. No, I'm just like trying to focus on a point on the ground or something. No, I think we've had a good chat overall. I sensed that I could more or less understand your problem, and hopefully you could sense that my sort of expertise in this field brought you something that you have like out of it, and maybe the reassurance to leave the room and say, hey, I can actually do it. Because I felt the major problem here was the fear to learn the language. You know how to learn the language. I don't need to explain you how to learn the language. You know what you're doing. You've learned so many. But starting on a new one, especially like after you've learned Mandarin, why should German be so scary? So that's kind of like, that's been like my main goal behind the coaching. Yeah.
Got it. Thank you. No, and I also feel like you were really nice and very friendly with the answers, like making me feel like those fears, because they're actual fears, like the fact that I can, like, because of rolling my tongue out and my pronunciation, that's an actual fear, and us being able to know that me saying it wrong, it doesn't gonna mean I'm gonna insult someone on purpose. It just means that I'm learning. And finding a group, that also was a nice solution, because I'm a people's person. Like, I really like to talk and I really like to enjoy people. So in that sense, that solution was really friendly, and I haven't thought about it. So it was really nice for you to open my perspectives.
Yeah.
It's really great.
Yeah. And I also want to mention that you both were always smiling and looking at each other. That's really nice. Like having an eye contact and having a smile on your face always. That's really nice. So that's commendable too.
Great.
Cool. It's a wrap.
Yeah.
It's a wrap.
Cool.
Yeah. And now you can go on a date. Why are you here?
So I thought that you could help me with getting better at fitness, because I've recently been feeling that it's been really hard for me to get into a good routine and to really get fit, especially now that I live in another city.
That's really nice. Where have you been? Like, as in, where do you come from?
So I come from Germany, and I've always been going to the gym there. And then I moved to London, and life just got busier, busier and busier. So I couldn't really work out as much as I wanted to.
Right.
And it's been declining ever since. And I've just been struggling so much to really get into that routine.
I completely understand you, but it feels really nice that you have now thought about having a fitness routine, right? That's really nice. I've been coaching since years now, and I really feel like when it comes from within, it really gets you an impact. It brings an impact to your body. So can I ask you, how is your daily routine look like?
Like my day-to-day life?
Yes.
Well, at the minute, it's wake up in the morning. I tend to make a nice breakfast, and also make sure that I eat my protein so that I don't get super hungry. So that's what I feel quite good.
Sorry to cut
That's
you.
okay.
Like, as in, can you mention time? Like, as in, so that I
Oh
process
yeah,
the
so I
time.
wake up at around 7,
Uh-huh.
7:30, and then I make my breakfast, get ready, get to class, lunch break, more class or studying depending on what, and then I go home and I tend to be so tired, like the gym is just not in it for me in the afternoon. I'm so tired. And then I have dinner and then I go to sleep. Or maybe hang out with friends, you know, or do my chores, all of these things.
Right. So you wake up in the morning at 7, you do breakfast, you hit school, you study, and then you do lunch, dinner, and then you sleep around 8 o'clock,
Mm-hmm.
maybe?
Yeah, a bit late. I go to bed
A
at
bit
like
late.
10.
Okay. That's really nice. You wake up at 7. So I would suggest that we should start having fitness sessions in the morning at 6.
At 6?
Yeah, is that a wrong time?
No,
I'm
I
saying-
used to always work out in
Okay.
the mornings back
Right.
in Germany, so that's actually okay for me. I could get used to that. I would just have to get into the swing
Right.
of things.
I know. So let's be conservative. Maybe we should start doing fitness from 7 o'clock. Maybe we should start conservative and then we can be aggressive, right?
Mhm.
So I would really want to say that fitness is really important because it really brings you energy for the day. I've always have a saying that do you want sun to chase you or you want sun like as in you want to chase the sun, right?
Yeah.
So when you want to chase the sun, it's always late, right? You hit the gym, like as in you hit the classes, you go to the classes late, you eat lunch late, you do study late. But when sun is chasing you, you're always in front. And now you
Mhm.
get more motivated about doing fitness, right? So maybe we should start at 7 if that's really nice for you. And then we should
Six.
also
Six, sorry, six.
6? No, 7.
7, okay.
Right, 7, yeah. Be
How am I gonna
conservative
get
here.
ready? I've gotta be at uni by 9.
By 9.
Yeah.
So
I'm still a girl, you know, I gotta do the makeup, gotta do the hair, gotta take the shower.
right, and yeah, that's also really important. So should we do it at 6:30 if that's possible?
6.
Because what I'm trying to do right now is being conservative so that you can also be in your schedule, which is your daily schedule, and also you can just start with your fitness, which is really important.
6:30 sounds doable if it's just half an hour.
Amazing.
Half an hour,
That's really
45
nice.
minutes.
Yeah,
maybe.
I don't know why we are negotiating with the time, but that's really nice. But I really want to say that fitness is really important, as I mentioned before. What do you know about being fit, or what do you know about having a fitness schedule? What do you expect from being fit?
I just don't want to be so tired
Right.
anymore. That's sort of, and I want to fix my back pain.
Oh, you have a
It's
back
sort
pain,
of, yeah, I have such back pain because I don't work out.
right?
I
Have
need
you?
to fix my back pain.
That's really nice. So, has it ever been that you hit the gym and not do the warm up before pulling up, muscles and
Well,
something?
yeah, now that you say it, yeah.
Yeah, because fitness is something which is very different with the gym.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Fitness is more being flexible. Fitness is more treating like as in increasing your endurance, right? Gymming is pulling up muscles, like as in look good. Fitness is more about running, athletics, flexible. So what do you feel about that? Will you be able to commit yourself in doing fitness?
I mean, best of both worlds, really. You know,
That's-
I would like to do gymming because everybody wants to look good in a bikini.
yeah.
But I'd also like to just be fitter in general, you know, wake up, be awake. So I guess maybe I need to do a combination of the two.
Amazing. That sounds like a plan. So you have a motivation in your mind that you want to look really good, right?
Yeah,
Is health
and I just want to fix the back pain.
right? So
Yeah.
that's a health issue which is also a motivation for you, right?
Mhm.
Right. That's amazing. So what do you think that how long will you be able to do fitness, like,
Ideally, lifelong, you know.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you also like yoga?
Not so much, no. It's just too quiet for me. It's too quiet. I
Okay.
cannot turn my head off. You know, other people can turn their heads off. I cannot do that.
Right.
Not so much for me.
So what is your what do you eat in your daily life? How is your dietary schedules?
I'd say it's alright. It's not the healthiest. It's because I don't work out a lot. It just really shows at some point. So Yeah, but I do try to eat like my protein and my fats, so diet is not too much of a concern for me. It's more really the getting into the gym and really getting to like workout.
Okay. So there's two things, right? You do the fitness, you also eat something which lines with the fitness which you do,
Mm.
right? So what I'll do is I'll make a schedule for you, which will also assist you in doing fitness and also building your inner self,
Mhm.
right? So that goes hand in hand. Let me come up with a schedule for you, which can include everything which you do in the morning from 6:30 to 7:30, whatever you feel like, and we should do it together. Like I'll coach you. You know?
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good plan. Let's
Yeah.
do it. Cool.
Amazing.
Okay.
So, moving
7 minutes, not done.
Yeah, 7 minutes.
Yay,
What
so
the?
now
Well
we're
done.
gonna move on into the 2 minutes of feedback from me, the observer. To keep things moving, I really like how you started asking questions about her daily routine and getting her involved. What I observed was a little bit of delay when you were trying to figure out what her routine was. Maybe having a lot of time for her to think the answers gave her a lot of uncertainty instead of getting to you to get answers for. So I don't know if maybe you can look for the aspects of what shapes her perception of exercise, what shapes her vision of what is not helping me achieve this exercise goal. I really like when you said that exercise is not just lifting, it's about moving the body, and I agree, like it's about moving that stationary aspect out of your life and start becoming more active. So maybe asking yourself as the conversation goes of what is your ego being driven right now? Is she motivated by her routine, by her daily aspects, by her habits, or if there's an external aspect that she cares about, like for example her back pain. Like yes, yoga can help her. She said she didn't like yoga, so it's good that you pivot to another option, but maybe also making her like, okay, have you tried this exercise and this exercise? Of course, it's that 7-minute conversation, so you won't get as much, but as a starter, it was a nice pace to move on. So now we're entering like a minute or so about having the opportunity to talk about what you guys felt. So let's do 1 minute about that.
I felt really well understood and also heard, and I like the solution that we came to like in the end, and now I really feel like I could genuinely ask you for like coaching me in fitness. So I think you've really done a good job on like delivering your knowledge to me and make me trust you. Yeah, you've really presented an authentic version, so that was really good, I think.
Yeah, and also you guys' body language, like bending your knees towards each other. I don't know if the camera can catch that, but it's comfortableness, and it also helps indicate that you guys are willing to have a conversation.
Really
Anything
nice.
to add?
Yeah, so I really like the way she answered. She was being honest, and
Team honest.
yeah, honesty, and I really like the answers. Yes. Also, the way I was thinking, so that to get to know more about what is your motivation, as you mentioned, and then when you say that I really want to look good, I also have a back pain. That really feels that you are thinking about getting into fitness now. Maybe my questions would have triggered in your mind saying that I should hit the gym now. Maybe this is the time, right? So you were being honest about that. I really like the way you ended the conversation saying that it's a deal. I really like the way you were talking, and I really feel confident about it. I really feel that you were authentic about what you say. I really like that too. So I also I would also like to say that your feedback was really nice. I was jumping from this to this, from that to that, right? So I really take that as a good feedback from myself, and amazing.
Great. So I
Cool.
think we're done
Cool.
with coaching number 1.
Cool.
Cool.
Okay, I'll